Welcome to the International Education Accreditation Council, or IEAC, training module for inspectors. My name is Karl and I'm the Director of Accreditations at IEAC. The goals for this session is to familiarise you with IEAC, our products and services, as well as accreditation, and then to break down the roles and responsibilities for inspectors. Let's start first of all with what is accreditation. Accreditation, simply put, is a quality check. It's a chance for institutions to see where they are in regards to their vision and mission, but also where they stand as far as international standards. So they can look at standards which would be typical in a US or a UK environment, and they can see what areas they need to develop, where they have significant achievement, and it helps them in their strategic planning. You may be wondering just who could be accredited. Well, the answer is anywhere where there is teaching and learning. So universities can be accredited, of course. It could be a faculty within a university or a program within a faculty. Colleges, vocational colleges and technical colleges can be accredited. Schools can be accredited, right down to kindergarten. Additional to that is also corporate training centres. They can be accredited, or online education providers such as language schools. If there is teaching and learning occurring, it can be accredited. The types of accreditations we have at IEAC is a full accreditation, an affiliate accreditation, and membership. The full accreditation is normally for institutions which are well developed. They've already been in the game for several years. They've already got a track record and they're well established in their area, and that's a full accreditation. An affiliate accreditation is for those institutions that have an accreditation from another provider. So they might have an accreditation with the Council of International Schools, or they might have an accreditation with another agency from another country. They can join IEAC as an affiliate, and that accreditation allows them to join in our networking, our webinars, and all the services we can offer. Finally is membership, and membership is typically for institutions which are just opening and starting. It's a chance for them to enjoy the benefits of IEAC membership while they prepare for accreditation. Okay, let's look at the roles of inspectors. First of all, there are two different types of inspectors. There's a support inspector, and as the name implies, he or she supports the senior inspector, which is called a reporting inspector. The reporting inspector is the one who is responsible for writing the final report, which goes to the accreditation committee. Okay, let's look at what an inspector actually does. First of all, a school or an institution or a university will apply to IEAC for accreditation. When they do that, they send through the application, and then there's a request for documentation. These documents are reviewed, and if it looks like the institution is in a position to be able to be accredited, then those documents are sent to the inspector's dashboard. And that's where you come in. As an inspector, you have access to the dashboard as well as the website of the institution. When I was inspecting, what I would typically do is research the institution on its website, look through the documentation, so I had a familiarization with the institution before I even went there. The next thing is, I'll give you an example of an inspection where you go on site. So typically what would happen is I would reach out to the institution, and being proactive, introduce myself and give them some options for how the inspection could take place. The inspection is typically a 2-day on-site inspection, although for online institutions, of course, we can do the inspection online. But let's look for a moment at the 2-day on-site. So if it wasn't in the same country where I was, I'd be flying into the country, have 1 day as a rest day, and then the next 2 days on site, followed by another day of either a rest day or flying back home. On those 2 days, I would typically meet with the senior leadership team in the first instance, and then there'd be presentations by various departments or various faculty members, which gave a chance for everyone to start a dialogue. Those inspections were very important. They could last between 5 and 10 minutes and gave all of us a chance to get more of a context of the institution. So what I'd suggest to institutions when I first reached out to them was to have their faculty members or department heads or grade head of departments prepare a 5 to 10 minute PowerPoint, and not as a chance of an investigation, but more of a chance for a celebration of achievement and identification of goals and future ambitions. Once this was done, the reporting inspector and the supporting inspector would get together and go through their notes over the 2 days and prepare a report. Also, they prepare a summary for the second day, normally the last session, back with the senior leadership team, giving a summary of their findings. Not the result of it, because that's up to the accreditation committee. Once the report was completed, it gets sent into IEAC and is put before the Accreditation Committee. The Accreditation Committee reviews the report and then they make a decision, normally within 10 working days. Once that happens, there's a decision made and the institution is advised of that decision. For the inspector, the job is basically finished. You submit the report, submit your expenses, and IAC refunds that, and you wait for the next job. However, there's a whole lot of value-adding opportunities. IAC is able to help institutions with QS stars, Times Higher Education, World University Rankings, applying for ISO certification, with CPD, professional development, and even accreditation of agents and teachers. So there are many, many things that we can help with. And I'd like to give you an example. Several years ago, I was in another country in Kurdistan, and they were having trouble with their teacher training. And they were a Montessori school, and they needed to have teachers experience in Montessori. There was another member who had a teaching college, which actually provided Montessori training. So by putting both of them together and helping them network, both institutions benefited. That's exactly how we see IEAC, a chance for networking, a chance for collegiality, and a chance for growing together. We have inspectors all over the world. We have currently inspectors in Jordan, in Iraq, in Kurdistan, in Thailand, in Cambodia, India, and Sri Lanka. And I think this is another thing that differentiates us, is that we often have local native speakers who can grasp the nuance, who can grasp the conversations of what's happening. Lastly, I'd like to talk about the importance of you, the inspector. You are an ambassador for IEAC. It is imperative that you dress accordingly, act accordingly, enter with an open mind, understand that the context may be different to your home country, understand that the people you're meeting may come from different perspectives. You might be engaging with people in faculties of disciplines you have no familiarity with, but you still have an understanding of teaching and learning. At IEAC, we take pride that all of our inspectors have education foundations in their own CVs, and this allows us to be more resonant with the client, with the institution. We have more of an understanding. Finally, I guess the last thing to say is that I'd like to welcome you to IEAC as inspectors. You are pivotal in our success, and you are our ambassadors, and hopefully this first training module gives you a great grounding in what it is to be an inspector. Thank you very much.